Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm really excited to film. I feel like I haven't filmed a fun video like this in a while of just coming out, hanging out with you guys and talking about some decks. So I'm really excited. I haven't been feeling well lately. It just feels like it's one thing after another. So um, I'm feeling great today. So I thought we would come on and film this video, which I've been wanting to film for a while. So I am going on a trip to New Orleans at the end of this month, kind of like a week before Halloween. So I'm so excited. I've never been. I just feel like it's a bucket list trip for me, and I'm just so grateful. It's a family trip. My in-laws are taking us on this trip, and I'm so grateful and happy. So I'm really excited. So I thought about filming this video, and I'm actually going to post it uh, after I get back, I think, because my idea with this is to um, kind of see what decks I want to bring. So that's the video today. I'm going to go through my decks and see what I'm bringing with me on vacation, and then I want to take videos and kind of little pictures of my readings that I do while I'm there. Kind of see how often I actually use the decks, if I'm even able to. I'm really hoping that I get a little bit of time each day to do a little reading because that's just part of my routine, anyways. Um, and I'll show the decks that I actually end up picking and taking with me and using. But this video, we're going to explore some of the options. I kind of already have some set options in my head that I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking, but you know, there's one main deck that I know I'm bringing, and so I kind of need to pair these decks together and see what actually fits and works with this one deck. So, the deck that I specifically bought for this trip is the New Orleans Oracle deck. I mean, I just couldn't not get this deck for the trip. I thought that this would be such a special experience to bond with this deck, to use it in New Orleans, so that anytime I use it from here on out after the trip, I will have that association of connecting and bonding with it in the actual city of New Orleans, and it will just have that New Orleans magic, right? So I'm so excited. I saw this deck and I was like, well, I have to, right? So it's actually a pretty small little Oracle deck as far as like the size of the box, and I think so it's only 33 cards, so not a ton of cards, but obviously I'm gonna be there for 6 days, I believe. Um, yeah, not 6 full days, 4 full days. So I don't need a ton of cards for that short of a trip, but I'm actually really happy that it's small, so it doesn't take up a bunch of room, and that's kind of my goal with this, is to choose 3 is the max that I would think about taking with me, nothing more than 3. I really kind of want to try to pare it down to 2, so basically just one other deck, which would be a tarot deck, but I am open to bringing another oracle. We just kind of have to see. um, I definitely want to leave room open if there's a deck that I see there that I buy while I'm there. I can use that. Or, I want room for souvenirs and things, and, decks take up a lot of room. So I'm not trying to pack a whole bunch, especially if I'm not going to be spending a lot of time, like, you know, in the hotel room where I can do a ton of readings, that we're going to be out and about a lot. So, yes, so this is the New Orleans Oracle deck. I have done one little, like, sample pull from the deck just to see what the guidebook read like, and I'm really happy with the deck and its energy. It just feels really magical. And the guidebook, I really like the guidebook. So this is just a little bit about what this deck looks like. So it has a lot of like mystical cards that I wasn't expecting, and then it obviously has New Orleans themed cards like places and things like that. I love this card. The little tarot reader. Love it. So I think it'll be really fun to be able to kind of connect these images with images I really see when I'm there. I think that's so fun. And I appreciate the fact that this deck is very, it's just one keyword or one kind of like little concept. It's not super, expansive as far as having a lot of keywords. But it has a really nice guidebook that's very concise. So let's just look at Elusive Priestess. So that one actually has a longer little right up here. I'm not going to read it, but if you want to pause it and look at it, you can. But, some of them are really short and sweet. It's all just one page, Oh, well, some of them have, that's cool. So like Let Loose, that shows Mardi Gras. This is Marie Laveau for Power. I like that. So it kind of tells you if it's an actual like place that you're looking at. That's pretty. I don't think there's any spreads in here. It doesn't matter how you organize the spread as long as you set a clear intention of gaining clarity around what you are asking. It is often helpful to call upon one's angels or highest guides to tell you what you need to know. Yeah, so it just goes right into the cards. Very simple, but I like that. I think if you're on vacation, you're not going to spend a ton of time doing a reading. So something kind of simple and quick and to the point is the goal. So here's what I'm thinking. I have 2 decks that are in the running for tarot, but I'm really leaning towards one. So I'm going to show you one that I'm not leaning towards, but it was still an option. This is the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. And the reason that this one was, on this list is because I do want some Halloween vibes with my decks because I am going to be there during Halloween time. And I want some of that. I have so many Halloween decks. And this one isn't straight up Halloween, but it has that witchy vibe. So I'm just going to kind of see like how these look together. I love this. And another reason I wanted to possibly bring this one is because it's a very concise message. You just get a little reading here at the bottom. You don't have to sit and contemplate because it kind of tells you the reading. Obviously, you can get more than just the message off of the card, but I love this deck for when I'm feeling low energy or when I'm not feeling like I want to sit and contemplate a reading for half an hour. I just want to do a quick reading and get the message and boom, you're out of there. So that is why this one was an option. So I'm just going to kind of shuffle this up and see how these look together. Hair on this. All right, hopefully you guys can see. I'm gonna move these down a little bit. Gratitude with Ace of Cups, that's really pretty. Intuition with Seven of Pentacles. I like that. Five of Swords with, I don't even know what that means. I'm guessing that that's maybe it's like French for clam or oyster. I'm not sure. Let me see. Pronounced lanyap. Lanyap. Good intention. So it means a gift. So a gift with Five of Swords. I don't know how I feel about that one. Companionship with the Moon. Time for deep self-reflection. And then, well, I guess that could work, but I feel like these just aren't vibing very much. That makes sense. Step back. And then like the choice, because you need to contemplate. I don't know. I love this deck. I feel like it's big. It takes up a lot of room. And so I don't know. But it's cute and it has the Halloween vibes and the witchy vibes, but I just don't know about this one. It's also kind of heavy. This is the one that I really like when I'm thinking about this New Orleans trip like months ago. I was like, this is the deck I'm going to bring. And so we'll see. We'll see how it works with this, but this is the Antique Anatomy. This deck is beautiful. I call it a palette cleansing deck for me because it gives me the messages in a very clear way. It is a like pip style deck. And I just feel like this has this mystical kind of vibe that I feel like New Orleans will have. And it's not a Halloween deck necessarily, but it has that spookiness. It's like, I don't know, I don't necessarily associate New Orleans with Halloween, but I feel like there's a spookiness that I do associate with New Orleans. And so I feel like this deck would work really well in that. This deck is also very colorful, and this one is a little bit more muted. It does have really colorful, beautiful flowers, but the main background of the deck is this really beautiful beige color. So I love it. Okay, so let's look at this. Make a Wish with the Hanged Man. I like that. Ooh, Spiritual Knowledge with 9 of Blades. I like that. I feel like, wow. I actually really like that. If you think about it with, 9 of Blades, it's like 9 of Swords, anxiety. You second guess yourself. You are listening to things, outside perspective, but you have a spiritual knowledge. You have something you can draw on that can, scare away these nightmares and things. I like that. Ace of Swords with End of Cycle. Ooh, I like that as well. The blades are associated with air and wind and things like that, and the mind, and this is very much that energy. Page of Swords with Create Your Reality. I'd like that. Yeah. Ooh, the Emperor with Duality. See, yeah, this is the choice, I think. Adventure with 9 of Cups. I mean, tell me that's not a 9 of Cups card with the butterflies and the waterfall and like the portal. Beautiful. We have Signs with 8 of Coins. Growth with 7 of Coins. Wow. Yeah. Yep. I think that fits perfectly. Yeah, I really like that. Patience with 5 of Cups. Wow. Yeah, okay. Look at the blue. I love it. So that's definitely the tarot deck choice. Now, I don't know if I'm going to bring the book. Maybe unpopular opinion, but I feel like the Antique Anatomy guidebook's a little bit, at least in the meanings. I actually saw somebody talking about this deck and guidebook on YouTube the other day, and they were showing and I had forgotten that there's a lot of astrological associations in the book and really good spreads and things like that. And I kind of just associated the guidebook with very basic kind of meanings for the cards, very RWS meanings, which I don't necessarily always associate this deck with RWS meanings. I kind of really read this deck intuitively, so I don't know if I'm going to bring the guidebook, but I have really been loving having some kind of tarot guidebook with me while doing readings, just to kind of get a perspective of what the cards were meant to mean. That's just personally kind of something I've been exploring recently. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the guidebook a little bit more and see if I have the room. I've never really used this deck with the guidebook very much. So if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, because it is a bigger book, but it's very thin. So we'll have to see if I have room for it. But it would be nice to have, some kind of reference to astrological associations, and I think there's color associations in there, which would be really fun to use with this deck as well. So I'm gonna have to see if that's something that I want to bring. I don't know yet, but obviously I'll include that in some footage if I do end up taking that. yeah, so this is the choice. I kind of always knew that this is the deck I wanted to take with me to New Orleans. So now I have some other decks. You know, I brought a bunch of decks over here to look at with you guys, but honestly, I just feel like there's only one that I really, really am considering. The other ones I was just going to show for fun, but I don't think I'm going to show them because they're all like Halloween decks, and as much as I'm Halloween lover, I think I can use these decks, you know, leading up to the trip, and then when I get home, there will still be time for me to use these decks before Halloween, and you know, I can really just dive into those decks when I'm back. But a deck that I thought, again, has that energy of New Orleans for me, and I'm considering taking, is the Memento Mori. So this one is really up there in the it's up there. I think I might end up taking it. I don't know. I feel like these take up, you know, this is a tuck box. This is a very small little two-part box, and then I usually just keep this deck in a little bag. So really not taking up that much room. And that's kind of one of the main reasons too. I was also considering taking this one. I've just been really loving using this deck with its, you know, very simple kind of titles and intuitively reading it lately. Like, I've just been really loving it. And actually, I have been a little bit reading with this little guidebook, which I normally don't. Like, I had to go on a hunt for this to even find it. I feel like most of the time when I'm in a reading mode for like somebody else, or I'm doing my Tarot Unsolved, this deck comes through very intuitively for me. And sometimes when I'm reading for myself, it's hard to get those super intuitive, like a non-biased kind of hits off the cards. So that's why I brought this out, to kind of help me with some of these that I don't have maybe a personal association with, that I can't really pull anything intuitively off of. And I've done a few readings with this deck lately. It is one of my all-time favorites. I use it for spirit communication, like ghost, you know, talking to ghosts. I love this deck. And it's been very, very accurate. I've gone off of Claire's intended meanings for the cards. They have come up as very, very accurate, scarily so, which I think is really cool. And obviously, if I don't agree with the associations that she has for the card, I go off of my own. And that's what I've done mostly with this deck. It's been fun to play with the little guidebook. It's essentially just like keywords, but they're really a really nice jumping off point for these cards, especially if you don't have kind of an association with some of these items, right? So I just kind of want to see, I guess, what these two look like together. Obviously, this deck works with the Antique Anatomy because it's by the same creator, but I kind of want to see what this looks like with the Oracle deck. Ooh, we have Music Healing with the Gallows. That's interesting. Dreams with Candle. I like that they're kind of growing out of the mind here, and then dreams are obviously in the mind. That's cool. We have Fox with Peace. Body Balance with Smoke. Ooh, New Beginnings with Heart. I really like that. And the colors, I feel like, go really well together. Ooh, we have Watch with Power. That's really deep to me, like the power of time and how much that has control over us in our lives, right? I like that. Amputation Saw with Focus. I actually like that together. Yeah. Lilies with Abundance. Beautiful. Scale, Keep Going. Share Your Gifts with Scythe. That's interesting. Kind I want to look at what Scythe is in here. Death, sudden change, the Reaper comes, termination, harvesting a crop, precision. That's interesting. That's what I would associate it with normally anyways. I was just curious. Nature with door. Love that. Wow, it's almost like you can see this skeleton kind of looking out this glass window in the door. And I mean, they're obviously like dead because it's a skeleton, but you can get that kind of desperation. It's almost like looking out and wishing you could leave with this plant. Like I almost see them as looking out into nature. And then we have nature here. And I think it's interesting that we have this kind of skeleton, this death, and then over here we have this growth of this tree. I like that because I feel like there's a lot of flow and happiness and life in this deck, and this one has obviously a lot of death and things. So I think it's a good balance. We have flow with crown. I really like that. It looks like she has a crown on almost. Lock with success. Wow, it almost looks like these coins are kind of tied together. What do you need to break free of in order to have success, right? Let loose with rope. That's kind of the same thing. That's interesting. Oh, okay. I mean, come on. Learning and book. Yeah. So I really want to bring this deck, but I'll have to see with what will fit. Obviously, if I can't bring a third deck, then it'll just be the Tarot and the Oracle. But I think this will be a really fun deck to clarify or to add maybe a spirit message to the reading, since I very much associate this deck with speaking to ghosts and spirits, and I think that would be really interesting to do in New Orleans, where there's so much history and, you know, so much of that energy. So I think I'm gonna try to fit all three. I was kind of like set on just the two for sure, but I think I really want to try to make this one fit with now seeing them all working together. They work together really, really well, and I'm really excited. So these are the three that I've chosen. I kind of knew that this was how it was going to go. There's really no point in me showing all these other decks that I pulled out. I think I do want to show like the decks I'm using for Halloween time because they're a little bit different, but I feel like this energy is very much New Orleans, and I think there's going to be so much like Halloween kind of vibes going on there that I don't know, I feel like these just feel a little bit more like New Orleans to me. And obviously I've never been, but that's just the energy I'm getting. I'm just gonna see kind of like how much room they take up, kind of like stacked here together. Let's see. So this is how much room they would take up. It's really not that much, you know? It's really not that much room for something that's like so part of my spiritual path, and like really the only like, I'm just gonna stick this in the Antique Anatomy bag because the guidebook does not fit in this box for some reason. So yeah, that's perfect. All right, I think that's what I'm taking with me. I'll update when I actually get my bag packed and see if I can make it work. Yeah, I'm really not bringing any other kind of big personal items. I'm bringing my journal. That's kind of inevitable with I have to bring my journal if I'm bringing my decks. And then I'm bringing my Kindle, which is very small, doesn't take up much room. So I'm not bringing a bunch of like items. It's mostly just like clothes and things I need to like get ready every day. So yeah, I think that'll fit. That's good. We'll see though. I might have to sacrifice some clothes because I'm an overpacker for sure. So yeah, and I'll probably bring a crystal just to have that kind of ritual feeling with my readings, since I don't think I'll be able to bring like a candle or anything like that. I'll probably pick out a crystal. So I'll do that and I'll show you guys everything, obviously, when I get it all packed and, you know, all of that. So that's what I'm taking with me to New Orleans. Stay tuned for the rest of the video where I show me using it and, you know, what I got packed and everything. All right, so that's it for this part of the video. I'll see you guys later. Hi guys, so it is actually several weeks later since I've gotten back from my trip. So I was going to share with you guys what I took with me and how much I used it, which wasn't very much, and also do a little haul and show you guys what I got, like metaphysical wise, while I was in New Orleans. So we were there, today's November 6th, yes, November 6th, and we were there from October 19th through the 24th. We left on the 24th, so it was more like the 23rd. I apologize for the lighting. I have moved rooms in our house, so my office area is in a different part of the house, and I don't have my window in front of me anymore. So my lighting's really bad. I have my flash on if it looks a little bit weird, just so that you could see properly. I'm gonna buy a lamp or something in here so I can film a little bit better. So hopefully the lighting's not too bad. So the 3 decks that I did end up taking, which I thought I was going to, was the New Orleans Oracle, the Memento Mori Oracle, and the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I'll just take it out of that little case. So I loved working with these. I actually only did, drumroll, 1 reading while I was in New Orleans. And the reason for that is just because it was super crazy busy. We were doing things every day. It wasn't a relaxing vacation. It was a experiencing vacation, I'll say. So not a lot of just downtime, I guess. And when I did have downtime, I was taking a nap. So I only did 1 reading, but it was really beautiful. I didn't use this deck at all. So I did bring it. It took up like the smallest little corner in my suitcase, so it didn't take up much room. And I did use this deck. And I'll show you guys a picture. Sorry for the glare, I'll try to get that out. But I pulled this card and I pulled this card. So this was my little reading that I got in New Orleans, and it was really, really beautiful and meant a lot to me. And it was really cool because this is the Marie Laveau card, and I believe it was either the day of or like one of the days around when I pulled this card, or it could have been the same day we learned about Marie Laveau and her life, and we did a tour. So it was really cool to pull that card. And then the Empress has like a personal meaning to me that's just really special for me to pull that reading. So that was really fun. And then I ended up pulling from a deck that I got in New Orleans with this little reading. So I have it right here because I've been using it every day. This is a playing card deck that I bought in New Orleans, and that was really the only intention I had for buying a deck, was to buy a playing card deck for some reason in New Orleans. This is the Calaveras playing card deck. It's by Dead on Paper, and they're the same people that make the Tarot Arcana playing cards. And I've been loving this little deck. It's really, really cool. And it just fit with the theme of everything. So I did pull a card from this deck for my little reading. And I've actually been using it every time I do a reading since. I've been pairing it with my Pagan Otherworlds and Supra Oracle, and it's been really beautiful. So I got this deck at the French market, and it was a really, I can't remember the name of the shop that I was at, but it was, she had tarot decks and oracle decks and playing card decks. I didn't really look too close at the tarot and oracle decks. It seemed like kind of just mass market things you can get anywhere. But this was a deck that I had wanted for so long, and you can't buy it in a store most of the time. You know, you have to order it. So I was so excited to have that. And then I also bought this picture of Marie Laveau at her shop. I don't think there's any information. I'm so sorry for that glare, but that's a really cool photo. So that was the only deck I bought while in New Orleans. I'm gonna put these cards away. But I did go to a shop, Earthbound. It's a chain. There is one a few hours away from me, so I have been to this store before, and I love their stuff. And I ended up buying this tarot card case while I was there, and I put my Antique Anatomy into this case because I normally keep it in just a little bag, and I thought that this fit. There are a lot of greens in the Antique Anatomy, so, and this is a really nice real leather case, so really happy with that. And then the other item I got from Earthbound was a piece of hematite. I love hematite. I've had it in a ring before and it broke, so I was really sad. I just love how heavy this is. It's a very heavy stone, and it's a very grounding stone. It's a protective stone. And I really love it. And I would kind of carry it around with me after I bought it, just to kind of like, as like a little fidget thing or anxiety stone, just to have it in my hand. It's very grounding. So bought that. And then I have one more deck to share. This is a playing card deck that my husband won in this game that my mother-in-law put on for us, which was really fun. And he ended up giving it to me because he didn't want it. So this is a really fun voodoo themed playing card deck. I'll probably keep this one for like actually playing games with. I kind of have my playing cards separated into playing card decks that we actually play with, and then I have my divination playing card decks that I use in my practice. So this one's really fun, and I think it'll just be cool to actually play games with. And it's a nice card stock. It's like, all right, my camera shut off. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that is all of the metaphysical type items that I bought while in New Orleans, and an honest look at how often I actually used my decks. I'm glad I was able to fit one reading in there. And I'm, you know, I would have brought them anyway, even if I knew I wasn't going to use them, just in case. You never know when the need's going to arise for a reading, so I'm happy that I brought them. I'm happy that, you know, I was able to infuse this deck with New Orleans energy because it is the New Orleans Oracle, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I guess I'll show you guys really quick. I was editing the beginning of this video and I saw a card that I was looking, when I was looking through this deck, that I was like, oh my gosh, I literally saw that. Yeah. So this little scene here I mean, I literally saw, like, you're literally walking around, it's kind of like an art area, and there's just tarot readers all around. It's really, really cool to see that. So, just a beautiful place. I'm happy to have experienced it, and I'll always have that memory associated with this deck. And yeah, so that's what I brought with me to New Orleans and didn't really use, and what I brought back with me. I would love to at some point have a vacation that's maybe geared around like a spiritual retreat where it's spending a lot of time in nature and maybe with my spiritual tools. That would be really cool. But it's also nice to get away and just focus on new experiences and things like that. So this was definitely one of those times where it was just go, 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 and trying to fit a bunch of experiences into a short amount of time. So anyways, I love you guys so much. I miss you. I'll be filming more soon. I just need to get my filming situation figured out a little bit better, but all right, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.